Today we celebrate St. Barnabas the Apostle. The apostle and missionary was among Christ's earliest followers and was responsible for welcoming St. Paul into the church. Though not one of the 12 apostles chosen by the Lord, he is traditionally regarded as one of the 72 disciples of Christ and most respected man in the first century church after the apostles themselves. St. Barnabas was born to a wealthy group of Jewish parents on the Greek-speaking island of Cyprus, probably around the time of Christ's own birth. Traditional accounts hold that his parents sent him to study in Jerusalem, where he studied at the school of Gamaliel, who also taught St. Paul. Later on, when Christ's public ministry began, Barnabas may have been among those who heard him preach in person. At some point, either during Christ's ministry or after his death and resurrection, Barnabas decided to commit himself in the most radical way to the teachings he had received. He sold the large estate he had inherited, contributed the proceeds entirely to the church, and joined Christ's other apostles in holding all of their possessions in common. Saul of Tarsus, the future St. Paul, approached Barnabas after the miraculous events surrounding his conversion and was first introduced to St. Peter through him. About 5 years later, Barnabas and Paul spent a year in Antioch building up the church community, whose members were the first to go by the name of Christians. Both Paul and Barnabas received a calling from God to become the apostles of the Gentiles. The reference to the laying on of hands in Acts chapter 13 suggests that Paul and Barnabas may have been consecrated as bishops on this occasion. After much evangelizing, they separated in their ministries, Paul and Barnabas did, while remaining apostles of the one Catholic Church, over Paul's insistence that Mark not travel with them again. In death, however, the apostles to the Gentiles were reunited. Mark is said to have buried Barnabas after he was killed by a mob in Cyprus around the year 62. St. Paul and St. Mark were in turn reconciled before St. Paul's martyrdom 5 years later. He is said to have been stoned to death in Salamis in the year 61. St. Luke described Barnabas as a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and of faith, and he was known for his exceptional kindness and personal sanctity and his openness to pagans. St. Barnabas, the Apostle.